All right, so this is gonna be my second time trying to do this. I'm gonna try and go through rapid fire, not waste no time. I found myself getting distracted. I'm watching the Overwatch League on the second monitor. But let's go through what can you tank on Valtan. We're first gonna do gate 1, then we're gonna do gate 2. The only video footage I have of like hard mode on my Gunlancer is from June, so it's 3 months old. I was trash, so please excuse my lack of expertise gameplay. I don't mean the combat stats. But anyways, let's go ahead and get into it. Gate 1 as a blue Gunlancer. What can you tank? So he was going to do Skittles there, taunted him out of it. This is Wi-Fi. You can see the telegraph that he puts down here. Yes, you could tank that one just fine. After this, scratches this red telegraph, and he just boo, 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 boo. Want to really be careful, especially on red. You can tank that on blue and purple. Assuming you have a good amount of meter, it will drain your meter a little bit, so be a little careful of that. But if it's on red, do not tank this. If you're on Red Wolf, do not tank that. It'll give you lots of bleed stacks. You don't want to get the bleed stacks and then kill your teammates in the process. That's a little charge. You can tank that one just fine. He's going to teleport. I believe after he teleports, he does a little spin. You can tank that one just fine. Most of the stuff in gate 1, you're perfectly okay to tank. You just got to be careful with the bleed stacks. This red explosion, as you can see, I tanked it. You can tank that one perfectly fine. People even tank that one in Helton. So this is scratches on red. Don't want to get hit by that. You don't even want to taunt that. As a side note, if no one is being attacked by the scratches, don't taunt it because it's a very good DPS window for people. So that was a mistake on my part. But anyways, moving forward. So he did one scratch here, and then he follows up with 2 more, 1, 2, and that gave me my 3rd stack. And as you can see, this red telegraph, you can kind of see it on the ground. This line explosion, that was me. That was my fault for getting hit 3 times by red. And I damage all the people in this line. So you want to be really careful, because as a blue Gunlancer, you're so used to tanking everything. On red, you have stacks though, so you got to be really careful. This yell that he just did, that scratches again. So you want to really make sure you get out the way. I don't know why I tanked it. I don't know how I didn't get hit by any of that or what, but don't risk that. I don't even know. I was just trash back in the day. So when he does this little jump, right, he did a little hop right there. He turns around and then he jumps. He'll do kind of like how he teleports. You know, when he teleported earlier, he does 1 swipe and then he'll do like a spin. Except after he jumps, when he swipes and spins after, the outside, there's a ring that explodes. So you want to get away from him, wait for him to spin. Once he spins, you want to get in so that you don't tank this ring. Watch. Boom. Can you tank it though? Yes, you'd be fine. You don't want to tank the hit, the initial slash or the spin, because those give bleed stacks. But this ring explosion, you don't have to tank it. But like if you got hit by it, could you? Yes, you'd be fine. It doesn't give a bleed stack, so you should be all right. This is Wi-Fi again. Don't want to get hit by that, especially on red, because it gives bleed stacks. This is Skittles. You can definitely tank this. This is a perfectly good one to tank. This is Wi-Fi again. After you get hit the first time, you're okay to stay in front of him though, because it goes further and further. It doesn't stay at close range. And that's pretty much most of the patterns, to be honest. Most of the patterns are just repeated. Those shurikens you could tank just fine. If red goes into tornado, which I think we'll see later on, you could tank as well if you have like Nalasias or your taunts. Like if you had your taunt shield up and Nalasias, whatever, you'd be able to tank that just fine. So this, right when blue spawns, it also happens when purple spawns. They start with an arm grenade. Blue, red, or green. He starts off with blue in this scenario. There's a blue thing on his arm, and then he's going to throw it out. Ideally, you want to stack up so it's easier to avoid. We weren't stacked. This was 3 months ago. People didn't even know how to do orbs at the time. So could you tank it? Yes. Try not to, though. With these snowflakes that get sent out, these like, you know, ice chips that get sent out, if they hit one person and they freeze one person, more spawn from the person they hit. So it's like a domino effect, and they hurt a lot. Even if you have your shield up, if you get hit by a bunch of them, they will hurt. Just like in Vicus, the more you get hit by things, the more it'll just domino effect into a lot of damage. So you want to avoid attacks that include multiple hits like this one. Same thing with the green and the red on his arm. If he puts something down for 8 people, don't try and tank it, because it's meant for 8 people. You're one person. You may die. But like if you get hit by one, you'll be all right. You can tank it fine. This is an example of what red looks like. One, you're fine if he puts down a random one like he just did here, but if you tank like 8 of them, it would hurt. You'd probably live, but it would hurt. So that's shurikens. You could tank that one just fine. Obviously, it doesn't even look like a big attack. So this is green on his arm now. So we should be stacking. We're not, though. This is 3 months ago with no Helton experience. I don't even think Helton was out yet. So as you can see, there's a bunch of telegraphs all around. And just look at my meter. Just look at my meter. Look at it. Need I say more? Try to stack up and avoid the arm grenades together so that people don't die, because if I took that much damage, that probably would have killed half the other people in the lobby. So be very careful. So yeah, this is red's tornado. If red does target you with a tornado and you have a good amount of meter, you could just stand still. Don't risk moving the tornado towards other people getting hit. If you have Nalasias, reinforce the shield on yourself. If you have a support, get an extra shield. But yeah, you could tank that tornado perfectly fine. It wouldn't move you around or anything like that. That's most of the patterns for gate 1 though. So I'm kind of going to try and just go through pretty quickly here, because we've already gone over the arm grenades. These little patterns you could tank just fine. Scratches you want to try not to tank. Apparently if you're close enough though, you don't even tank it. That might be OP. I might have to try that in another Valtan run. We had someone DC in our run, so we were trying to give him time to load back in. That's a bunch of reds that get thrown down. More Skittles. Basic patterns. There you go. As you can see, I got hit by the freeze and then it pulsed out from my body as well. Boom, boom. So want to be careful with that. So you can get people killed. You can get yourself killed. So be very, very careful. He puts another red. Yeah, I mean, you could see I take multiple reds. Oh, wait. I take multiple reds here and watch the meter. Yeah, it's a big jump. It's a big jump. I am slightly over item level, but this was before Vicus came out, so I was only using like 4 pieces of relic gear, I think, at this point. So for sub 15, after you do the second orb mechanic, when blue transitions into purple, he starts wilding out and he sends out these little waves. You can tank those waves just fine. Actually, it's recommended. Usually at this part, everyone is waiting at 6 o'clock in this little dip down here on the map. And you can stand right here, blocking all the waves from coming out so that they don't hit the people waiting at south or at 6 o'clock. But you got to be careful, because as you can see, there's like these little puddles under me and they're exploding right here. Boom, 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 boom. You want to be careful, because if you don't have a shield for that, you're going to take a lot of damage. Right there, I had bonus defense from shield shock. My Nalasias was up and I have a lot of meter, so I was chilling. But definitely be careful. Because that can stack up and do a lot of damage. Once purple transitions, he's doing the purple or the blue arm again with the freeze. Want to be careful of that. Same thing I said earlier. He does have a blue telegraph grab, which he'll do later on, which you definitely don't want to get hit by, because it doesn't matter if you have your shield up or whatever. He'll just swipe you up. Let's see if I can find when he does it. This is fear. If your people don't do the stagger check on fear and you're the one who got feared, yeah, you could tank that one as well, by the way. If you feel like you're the lowest damage in your party, then it's probably better for you to tank it. When you think the fear is coming, run away so that you can bait the fear for your teammates. This is gravity zones. He puts puddles on everyone. Or, I'm sorry, puddles on 2 people. You can tank them. Ideally, you don't want to, though, because they do more damage the longer you stay in them. As you can see, my meter is really starting to go down. So this is gravity zones, and then I think he grabs. Yeah, so this blue telegraph right here is a grab. You want to be very careful of that, because he'll pick you up, and then he'll do like another extra attack. And that can hurt. I don't even know if you have your shield up, if your shield stays up while you're being grabbed. I can't think of the last time my main got grabbed. So be careful for that one. Don't want to get hit. And that's pretty much it, though. That's like all of the patterns for the most part for gate 1. Keep in mind, I am slightly over item level, but I didn't have full relic at this time. I probably was still using legendary jewelry as well, so that'll give you an idea of how tanky I was at the time. And that is gate 1. Let's go ahead and go into gate 2. This first charge, yes, you can tank. You can tank it just fine. But be careful, though, especially if you're on item level. It hurts. It's not something that you should tank just because you can. But if something happens, you accidentally use your spacebar, you don't have your spacebar, you're not going to be able to get out the way. Yes, you can throw up your shield and you can tank it. This jump, yes, you can take it. Not a one shot, you'd be fine. The cross, the spin, you can tank, you'd be fine. This is the next charge. As you can see, I tanked this one perfectly fine. Pump damage, pump destruction. This is the long pattern. You can tank this one perfectly fine. Axes, yes, you can tank these. You could literally put up your shield like I'm doing right here, throw up Nalacias and stand still. The only thing that sucks with that is you could be getting in people's way who are trying to run triangles, so be careful with that. But yes, you can tank it. As you see, I just put up Nalacias and sit in the corner. And also this red telegraph explosion that happens after he lands, yeah, you can tank that. Probably not, you probably shouldn't. If it's just because you can take it doesn't mean you should tank it. But like, if you can't get to the save zone, yes, you can throw up your shield and you'd live. Assuming you have a good amount of meter. It would hurt a lot though, so be careful. This spin, you can tank perfectly fine. This is 4 slams. He targets one person. If you are the one targeted, you want to walk away from the boss and not turn him around because you can get people killed like that. But yes, you can tank this. This is mechanic. No, you cannot tank that, obviously. Look at the axe. The axe is glowing. That means outside is safe. So that hit, can you tank it? Yes, you'd be fine. That initial hit, if you sit inside, you'd be fine. If you do decide to dodge it, though, be careful because there are puddles that get put down on everyone else, and you don't want to tank these. Just like Vicus, and just like I said in Gate 1, anything that is meant for 8 people, you don't want to take the hit of. You also want to be careful because if the axe wasn't glowing and inside was the save zone and you're like sitting there damaging, then all the puddles are going to be inside. So you still want to make sure you're avoiding these puddles because those can be deadly. This, he puts a red cone targeting one person. You cannot tank this red cone. You will die. You will 100% die. But if you can dodge the red cone and you're stuck out in the yellow zone, when the yellow zone blows up, this explosion right here, you can tank that. Don't try to. You shouldn't. But, like, you can. You know what I mean? You can. If things hit the fan, you'd be fine to tank it. You obviously cannot tank the stage break. You will just fall off. You can't tank the spin. You can attack him while he's doing this. If you are going to decide to tank this yellow attack again that he's doing right here at stage break, please make sure that you have a shield. Please make sure that you put on Nalacias or your you know, I don't know, Godsent, Rhapsody. Make sure you have something because it does a lot. It for sure does a lot of damage. So be very, very careful with tanking that one. It doesn't happen here because I was pretty bolstered in my defenses, but later on I do get hit by one of those and I'm going to show you how much it drains your meter. Oh, the Paladin. You could tank that swing. Obviously, I just did it. You could probably tank one of those pillars blowing up, but those hurt a lot as well, so be very careful. This is Hellfire. If someone doesn't grab their orb, yeah, you'd probably be fine to tank it. Yeah, one person didn't grab it. That's not really a blue Gunlancer thing, though. That's just kind of like an everyone thing. If your team dies to Hellfire, then it doesn't really matter if you tank it or not. So ideally, you just get through that mechanic or that pattern. This is 65 counter. You don't want to get grabbed if you miss this counter here because, yeah, you'll die. It's not a tanky... It's not something that having a shield will bolster enough. This is front, back, front, it looks like. Yep, slams in the front, then slams in the back, and then slams in the front. You can tank this one fine, but it does hurt, so be careful, especially if you don't have any shields. This is imprisonment. I should have had flame grenades with me, but I didn't because I am trash. And one of these exploded because we didn't free our teammate. Got to be careful with that. Got to be very, very careful with that. This is a hop. I should have tanked this. I talked about this in the Helton video. Because no one gets hit by this first jump, he turns around and does it again. So if you see this happening in your run, try and tank it as a blue Gunlancer so it doesn't turn around. Because as you can see, he doesn't hit anyone and he turns around. And look at all these poor squishies. Soulfist, Glavier, Sork, Shadowhunter. Had the Gunlancer just gotten hit the first time, none of that would have happened. You know what I mean? So blue Gunlancers or Gunlancers at all can avoid things like that. This is going to be a... Okay, this is portals. These portals you can tank, but if this happens and you don't have a lot of meter, I highly recommend using your Defense Awakening for it. Because if all of these target you, you will take a lot of damage. It will really, really drain your meter. So be very, very careful trying to tank portals. This is a spin. The spin is fine. The jump, yeah, that's fine. This is stage break again. From here on out, it's pretty much the same stuff. As you can see right here, I'm going to let you guys look at my meter. Just look at the meter. Boom. As you can see, be very careful trying to tank that stuff. The yellow telegraphs on pillars. This is a grab. You will die if you get grabbed by that. Tanking it won't help you at all. You can tank the yellow telegraph after, though. Just make sure that you have shields if you don't have enough meter for it. This looks like the long pattern. Oh no, that's a cross. Front, back, front. If someone does attack the boss in this stage where you're not supposed to count or where you're not supposed to hit them, you could tank that hit too. You'd be fine. But don't do that. Don't do that to your teammates. Spin, you'd be fine. Balthor. Realistically, nowadays, me and MK would probably just die rain. You could tank these hits. Don't really need to, but you could. Also, if you really want to try it out, these punches, when there's the explosions under you, yeah, if you have enough shields, you can tank it. So if you like Awakening, Nalasia's yourself, you'd be fine. But just, you know, just time stop or run, you know, whatever you got to do. This hit too, that one where you got to hide behind the pillars, if you have your shield up, yeah, you won't get knocked off. So you'd be fine to tank that as well. Now for Ghost Phase, it's everything put together. This is the hop. Yes, you can tank it. He's going to turn around clockwise, does it again. You want to make sure as a Gunlancer you're hitting these counters, though. Don't get hit by that grab. That red telegraph right there. This red telegraph right here, if you get picked up by this, you're not tanking that. You're dead. So don't get hit by that. Especially as a blue Gunlancer, your shield is not saving you from that at all. And it's pretty much the same patterns here on out. And you just, you know, do this till you finish out. Make sure you're hitting the counters, not getting grabbed, and doing your thing. And he goes berserk, counters, cool, GG. And that's gate 2. That's really it. If there was anything you feel I missed or you would like to share with people in your experiences on Valtan, don't be afraid to leave it down in the comments below. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. You guys seem to really appreciate the Vicus one, so hopefully you guys appreciate this one as well. Also, I do want to let you guys know, for those of you who have stayed all the way to the end of this video, shout out to my Gunlancers, or maybe you're just a supporter of my channel, and for whatever reason, I appreciate you staying to the end. I got a little surprise for y'all. For those of you who don't know, on Twitter, Lost Ark or Smile Amazon was like, hey, there's a creator, it's kind of like a contest, but it's basically like the first 10 people to complete the Legion raid when it comes out, or the first 10 content creators, Lost Ark creators, get 10 bronze founder pack codes. I did not get it for Valtan. They said I was not within the first 10, but for Vicus, I did. I was one of the first 10 Lost Ark creators to complete Vicus in NA and submit the thing. So I have 10 Vicus codes. I have already given out 8 over the past weeks. I have 2 more though. So if you want to win one, just let me know in the comments. I got 2 more to give away. If you've already redeemed a bronze founder pack code, you cannot use it. If you've gotten a silver, gold, or platinum, yes, you can still put it in. But if you've ever gone bronze specifically, you cannot put it in. Which is why it's tough, because most of my friends already have the bronze founder pack. So yeah, if you would like the bronze founder pack because you never had one, it gives you like a free pet. I think the pet is worth like 15k right now, or you could use it especially for the pet ranch, or maybe you have a friend that could use it. Make sure to subscribe and like the video, and just let me know down in the comments maybe one of your favorite things about Lost Ark, and just let me know that you wouldn't mind winning the code. Anyways, it's been your boy Haiga. If you have any questions, don't be afraid to leave them down in the comments below or on my Twitch stream. The link will be in the description, twitch.tv/Haiga. Until next time, it's been your boy. Peace.